With more than 100 years of experience between the four of them, covering Minnesota high school athletics, the Minnesota Sun newspaper's sports editors bring you Sun on Sports.
Welcome to Sun on Sports. I'm your host, John Sherman, and we're here today with Mike Shaughnessy and Greg Kleven, my colleagues and esteemed sports writers for Sun newspapers. Well, this is our Super Soccer segment. We've got some big soccer stories to cover, and we also have some opinions on who we think might be some of the top candidates for the Miss and Mr. Soccer of Minnesota awards. As far as Mr. Soccer candidates, Mike, do you have anybody down south who could make some noise for that award?
Well, it's hard to ignore Apple Valley players since they're the top-ranked team in the state right now. Couple of players who might be contenders for that award. David Rosenthal, senior forward, was their leading scorer last year. One thing that Chuck Scanlon mentioned that might help Rosenthal is that Apple Valley actually this year has more guys who can score goals. That'll take a little bit of the defense's attention away from Rosenthal, might give him a little more space to work in and perhaps some more opportunities to score. I don't know how often in the past these awards have gone to defensive players, but one of Apple Valley's top defensive players is Bijan Jabari, who's in his third year as a starter and gets a lot of credit for their ability to shut down other teams. They had, I think, more than 10 shutouts last season. Held teams to fewer than a goal a game, and Bijan as a solid, experienced defender got a lot of credit for that.
Greg, any strong forwards, deft midfielders, tough defenders from your area who could be a Mr. Soccer finalist?
Well, in order to be, it'd have to be seniors, and I think I probably have a lot of underclassmen that have some promise and stuff, but nobody right now that I could say is a sure candidate. Last year I had several from Eden Prairie and Bloomington and stuff, Jefferson, but it's at this, we'll see how things emerge. The first 3, 4, 5 games of the season, the coaches do a lot of changing on their systems and their lineups, and it's hard to say exactly who's going to step forth, but we should know more in about a couple of weeks.
I've had the opportunity to see a great player from Hopkins this season, Sam Kessler. I was over at Minneapolis South the other night, and Kessler led his team to a 2-1 victory over a very good South team. He had a real nice header goal, controlled the ball well in the midfield, set up his teammates. Just a great all-around soccer player. Another player I've got from my area flying a little bit under the radar is a defender from St. Louis Park named Jimmy Silbert. His brother Miles plays for Carleton, was a great player at Park, and Jimmy is really holding that defense together. Park is off to a 2-1 start with a very inexperienced team, and he's really showing some great leadership. Well, that's our soccer segment, and thank you for joining us again, and look for us out at the soccer field. We'll see you soon.
Stay tuned for more Sun on Sports, your insider's guide to Minnesota high school athletics. For the scores and more, tune in daily to mnsun.com/sports. And tune in every Saturday morning to Sun on Sports on AM 950, the voice of Minnesota.